Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello my students, this is me Aya al-Masharawi, your English teacher. I hope all of you safe and well and enjoy our English classes. Still we are continuing with you in Unit 1 and today we are gonna talk about Lesson 2 from Unit 1 in your book Top-Notch A. So let's get started. Let's first remember together the whole unit communication goals. As you remember in Lesson 1, we practiced how to meet someone new. Today in Lesson 2, we want you to practice how can you identify and describe people. And later on, in Lesson 3, we want you to practice how to provide personal information. And finally, in Lesson 4, how to introduce someone to a group. So let's get started with this goal, how to identify and describe people. Let's see. So going to your book, Lesson 2, here we want to see how can we identify and describe people. Can you think with me, what part of a speech can we use to describe people? Can we describe people by, for example, verbs, nouns, adverbs, or adjectives? Yeah, you're right. We use adjectives to describe people or things. So let's brainstorm some adjectives to let you remember what adjectives are. Let's see some examples. Here I want you to try to remember some adjectives you know as a kind of brainstorming، يعني كعصف ذهني. تعالوا نتذكر مع بعض adjectives أو الصفات بالإنجليش اللي انتوا بتعرفوها. For example, let me say famous, great, nice, fun, wonderful, and so on. So these are some examples about adjectives. I want you to try to remember as much as you can about adjectives because this is good for your mind. كل ما تذكرتوا أكتر حاولتوا إنه تعملوا عصف ذهني أكتر في إنكم تتذكروا الصفات وتدونوها، كل ما هذا زاد من حصيلتكم اللغوية. تعالوا الآن let's get back to your book after we discussed some examples about adjectives. So let's go back to your book. As you see here, adjectives describe nouns and pronouns. So how can this be used in a sentence? Let's have an example to see how adjectives describe nouns or pronouns. Let's see. If you look at these two examples, example number 1, English class is interesting. Here, what is the adjective? Exactly, it's interesting. Interesting is adjective. It describes English class. So English class is noun. Interesting الصفة اللي وصفت الاسم. اوكي، واجت بعد الverb to be زي ما انتم ملاحظين. اذا عندنا هنا الصفة وصفت الاسم. English class is interesting. وممكن الادجكتيف او الصفة تصف البروناون الضمير as you can see in example 2. It's interesting. So here interesting the adjective describes the pronoun it. إذا ممكن هنا من المثالين يتضح لنا إنه الصفة ممكن تصف الاسم أو تصف الضمير. Okay. Now let's see how can we use adjectives in a sentence. If you look at these two examples, we have here in number 1, Ali is a famous writer. Here, famous is the adjective. As you notice, here famous, the adjective modifies the noun. يعني اجت هنا الصفة توصف الاسم. writer هنا اسم. Okay. إذن في اللغة الإنجليزية الصفة تسبق الاسم، بينما باللغة العربية الصفة تتبع الاسم. هنا نقول باللغة الإنجليزية Ali is a famous writer, but in Arabic we say علي كاتب مشهور. الصفة بتيجي ورا الاسم. إذا هاي النقطة بدنا ننتبه لها، إنه بالإنجليش الصفة قبل الاسم، بينما باللغة العربية الصفة بعد الاسم. وهذه كتير لما بنطلب ترجمة من الطلاب بيقعوا فيها بأخطاء، بيفكروا إنه مثل العربي فبروحوا بيقولوا Ali is writer famous. هذا خطأ. إذا لازم الصفة تسبق الاسم. Okay, now as you notice I use a here because the adjective is followed by noun, singular noun. إذا الصفة هنا سبقت اسم مفرد، فأنا بدي أنبه في هذه الحالة إن أنا أستخدم أداة التعريف أوكي. فأنا بقول a famous writer. طبعا إذا كانت بداية الادجكتيف vowel فأنا هقول an. إذا a أو an بستخدمهم إذا كانت الصفة متبوعة باسم مفرد singular noun. طب في المثال الثاني in example number 2 Ali is famous. It is not followed by noun. مش مسبوقة، يعني لا يتبعها اسم. اوكي، ما فيش وراها اسم اذا انا ما بستخدم اداة التعريف المفرد، فبقول Ali is famous. اذا تختلف عن example number 1. اوكي، انه example number 1 في وراها اسم مفرد، فانا استخدمت اداة التعريف المناسبة هنا لكن هنا ما في اسم وراها، فانا ما بستخدم اداة تعريف، only بقول Ali is famous. اوكي. Now let's move on and see how can we use adjectives in plural sentences. Plural means جمع. إذا احنا بنشوف كيف نستخدم الصفات في الجمل الجمع. Example number 1 Ali and Sarah are because Ali and Sarah are plural. جمع أكتر من 2 فما فوق احنا بنعتبرهم جمع، فبنقول Ali and Sarah are famous writers. إذا الادجكتيف متبوع بناون، لكن الناون هذا singular or plural؟ yes right plural جمع writers. بنبه إني أنا ما بحط article. okay but in example number 2 Ali and Sarah are famous. شو الملاحظة هنا؟ إنه ما في وراء الادجكتيف noun. اوكي، فأونلي بقول Ali and Sarah are famous. في كلا الجملتين ما في indefinite article a or an. ما بنستخدم أدوات التعريف اللي هي a أو an، لأنه ليش؟ هنا إحنا بنتعامل مع جمل جمع plural. إذا ما بستخدم الأدوات التعريف الخاصة بالمفرد اللي هي a or an. Okay. Now let's go back to your book, page 6, and have some grammar practice in exercise A. This question asks you to combine each pair of sentences. في كل نقطة في عنا جملتين بدكم تربطوها وتعملوا التغيير اللازم. Let's here have number 1 as an example. Chris Pine is an actor from the US. He is handsome. How can we combine these sentences into one sentence? نربطهم في جملة واحدة and make the possible change. Here is the answer. Chris Pine is a handsome actor from the US. What the change have we done? شو التغيير اللي احنا عملناه؟ إذا لاحظتوا هنا Chris Pine is an actor. An actor هنا الnoun. He is handsome هنا الadjective. احنا بدنا نربط بحيث انها تصير جملة واحدة. فحنحط الادجكتيف وين؟ قبل ولا بعد النون؟ صحيح، قبل النون، before the noun. So we say Crispine is a handsome actor. بما انه actor هنا singular، فانا هستخدم زي ما اتفقنا اللي هي الارتكل a. اوكي، a handsome actor. طبعا اذا ملاحظين قلنا a مش an، لانه هنا handsome not vowel، it's consonant. صحيح، اوكي، صوت صحيح. إذا أنا بقول a handsome actor. بالطريقة هذه هتمشوا في كل النقاط المطلوبة منكم إنكم تحلوها. So I ask you to write down the answers, then go back to the video and check your answer. Okay? Now check your answers. Number 1. Emily Sandé is a singer from the UK. She is fantastic. So, what is your answer? I want you to combine these two sentences using adjective with the noun. So the correct answer is Emily Sandé is a fantastic singer from the UK. So here I use the adjective fantastic before the singular noun single, and I don't forget to use a fantastic singer, a fantastic singer. Okay, that is the answer, the correct answer for number 1. Let's see number 2. Okay, sentence number 2. Ching Fi and Yao Jinan are athletes from China. So this sentence is plural because we have two people, and I say are. I use are because two people. So Ching Fi and Yao Jinan are athletes. Here is the noun athletes. It's a plural noun. They're terrific. They're terrific. Here terrific is adjective. So what is your correct answer? I want you using only one sentence describing the noun with adjective. So the correct answer is Ching Fi and Yao Jinan are terrific athletes. Terrific athletes. So I use the adjective before the noun, and because it's plural I don't use article. عشانها جمع أنا ما استخدمت أداة المفرد أو an. Okay, so this is the correct answer for number 2. Let's see number 3. Okay, now let's see this sentence. Sebastião Salgado is a photographer from Brazil. He is great. What is the correct answer? Sebastião Salgado is, now let's see here, a great photographer from Brazil. A great photographer. So the adjective great with the noun photographer, and because photographer is singular I use a. إذا عشانها اسم مفرد أنا استخدمت الأداة اللي تيجي طبعا قبل الصفة. إذا this is the correct answer. I hope your answer is correct too. Let's see the next sentence, and I think it's the final sentence. Okay, now if we look at the last sentence, Alice Munro is a writer from Canada. She is famous. We have here two sentences, and we want to combine them in one sentence using the adjective before the noun. So the correct answer is Alice Munro is a famous writer from Canada. So we use here famous before the noun, and we don't forget because writer is singular noun. Okay, that's for this exercise, and I hope all of your answers are correct. So check it please, and let's go back to your task. Now let's practice this conversation model. You have to listen to someone identify and describe a person using the adjectives you have just done. I want you to listen and try to repeat in the pauses and enjoy it.
Conversation model. Exercise A. Read and listen to someone identify and describe a person.
Hey, who's Lucia Micarelli?
You don't know? For real?
No. Is she famous?
She sure is. She's a great musician.
Where's she from?
The United States.
Page 6. Exercise B. Rhythm and intonation. Listen again and repeat in the pauses. Then practice the conversation model with a partner.
Hey, who's Lucia Micarelli?
You don't know? For real?
No. Is she famous?
She sure is. She's a great musician.
Where's she from?
The United States.
So I hope that you practice this conversation model to know how can you describe a person or ask questions to identify the person. As you see here, some questions are using to know who's this person. Is she famous? Is she famous? She's a great musician. Okay, so here are some descriptions to know who's she. So this guides us to something important. How can we ask questions? And let's first know the first type of the questions. Yes, no questions. Let's see. Now let's see what do we mean by yes, no questions. Yes, no questions are the simplest type of questions. من أسهل أنواع الأسئلة في التكوين. They can simply be answered by yes or no. إجابتها بتكون short answer yes or no. For example, are you a student? Yes, I am. Is Lala coming today? Yes, she is. So as you notice, it's a very simple type of questions, and we answer by yes or no. Let's see now how can we form this type of questions. Let's see this example. Your country is hot. So your country is the subject, is the main verb. So how can I ask yes no question about this sentence? Very simply, we only change the order. بنغير الترتيب على شكل عملية المقص. We say, is your country hot? Is your country hot? So this is the form of yes no question. Another example using a plural sentence. The buildings are new. So we use are because buildings are plural. So how can I form a yes no question? Only I make the crossing, changing the order. I use are in the beginning. So I'm saying or I'm asking, are the buildings new? Are the buildings new? So very simply, I change using are in the beginning, then the subject. Now let's see more examples using is for singular, are for plural in making yes no questions. Here on the first 3 examples using is, try to think why. Is your country hot? Is your country beautiful? Is the food expensive? So I'm using is because the noun is singular. Country, food, singular nouns. Moving to our next examples. Are the people friendly? People here, plural. So I'm asking, are the people friendly? Are the buildings new? Are the buildings new? So here buildings plural words, so I'm asking by using are. Okay, just one more example. I want you to see this question. It's no question. Are you a student? I'm asking you. Are you a student? The answer is yes, I am. So here maybe it's a little different. I'm asking you. So you here, okay, comes with are. Are you a student? But in the answer, you will become I. أنا بسألك أنت، في الإجابة هتكون أنا. So, are you a student? Yes, I. You بتصير I. و I of course ما بتيجي مع are، تاخد am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. إذا إحنا هنا بدنا ننتبه إنه هذه تختلف عن is و are، لأنه you تتحول ل I، و I من الضمائر اللي بتيجي معها فقط am. هي الضمير اللي فقط بياخد من الverb to be am. بدي أنبه كمان على شغلة، إنه هنا في الشورت answer ما بختصر ال I am، بقول yes I am، ما بقول yes I'm. إذا هنا بنبه إنه في البوزيتيف شورت answer، في الإجابة الشورت الموجبة أنا ما بختصر، أوكي؟ لكن لو بدي أقول no بقدر أختصر، بقول no I'm not، بقدر أختصر ال I am. إذا فقط لا تختصر ال I am مع ال yes في الشورت answer. الشورت answer يعني ما في تكملة وراها. I hope this point is clear. Now let's go to your book and have some exercises. On page 7, at the top of the page, we have a grammar practice. Exercise B. Complete the questions and answers. Use contractions, الاختصارات, whenever possible. Let's see here number 1. Your father a teacher. Your father a teacher. So what is here the answer to make it yes no question? So try to think. I have to use verb to be. I have to use verb to be. It's a main verb. So is it is or am? How can I know? I have to look at the subject. Your father is singular, so the answer will be is. Is your father a teacher? Is your father a teacher? Yes. Your father هنا هستعوض عنها بضمير، فأنا هقول yes he is. إذا أنا بعمل crossing، أوكي، لكن بستعوض عن your father he. Yes he is. وبذكر إنه إحنا هنا ما بنختصر، لأنه short answer ما بقول yes he's وبسكت، لا بقول yes he is. Okay, this is the answer for number 1. Now for the other questions, I want you to do it as homework, and in the discussion class inshallah I will check your answers. Okay, that's it for lesson 2. I hope you understand it well, and I want you to prepare yourself for more exercises and quizzes in the classroom. So see you there. Thank you very much.